folks, Chris Waters here with GameSpot on the show floor at E3 2014. I'm in the Ubisoft booth, about to talk to Mark Thompson, the narrative director of Far Cry 4, about the game which has had a fantastic showing so far at E3. Mark, it's been a big one for you guys.
Yeah, I think, I mean, we obviously weren't a surprise, right? People were expecting us. We'd already been announced. But I think the fact that we showed up with so much playable content and people could get their hands on and fall into Kyrat and start playing around with the open world has really got people excited, which is cool.
And I am one of those people. Let's talk for a second about your ambitions for Far Cry 4. Far Cry 3 was a big game with so much to do, and so much of it was so good. What are you hoping to build? How are you building on that for Far Cry 4? Where do you want to take this series?
Yeah, I mean, so when we shipped Far Cry 3, honestly, the open world and its appeal was a surprise. It caught us by surprise as a development team, because when you develop the game, you're so close to it, and you don't realize. And in the end, after we shipped, we found out that players were spending just as much time, if not a little bit more time than in story missions, they were in the open world. So it was almost a 50-50 experience, but it really wasn't developed with that kind of focus. The open world kind of crept along quietly and then surprised us at the end. So for Far Cry 4, it was really more of a shift in philosophy to be focusing equal efforts on the story and the missions and developing that open world and all of the systems and the player stories that can be generated by just playing and exploring the open world.
And let's talk about that open world for a second. In Kyrat, it's a mountainous region, so you guys have a whole different verticality to deal with. You've got a whole different geography than the tropical islands of Far Cry 3. So what kind of new opportunities does that bring for you in terms of design?
As a designer, it's really liberating to have kind of an extra layer of verticality, right? So with the mountains, we obviously have incredible height differences between peaks and valleys, and that gives us new gameplay opportunities. So when we started prototyping the world, we just saw how much elevation we had. We quickly realized that not all of the navigation mechanics from Far Cry 3 were going to cut it for that environment. So we started to add some new things. So we brought in the grappling system. So now you can climb on grappling points and jump between grappling. It's a very, very fluid and dynamic system. It interacts with all of the other systems from Far Cry 3. So mid-grapple, you can jump off, open the wingsuit, and then transition to a parachute. And if you can see another grapple point, you can hit that as well in one seamless transition, which is really cool. And we have the gyrocopter as well, which is a new flyable vehicle. So you can, I mean, it's intended that you can get from low points to high points quickly, but I've been seeing on the show floor just as many people have been using it to fly and rain down death from above over outposts.
I believe that immediately. The wingsuit was one of my favorite things, and I'm really intrigued about this gyrocopter, specifically how you guys showed it off during the press conference with the cooperative play, having one player flying it, the other player like maybe riding, maybe jumping off, and sort of causing that dual mayhem. The cooperative play must just take those sort of emergent player stories that can happen in an open world and just multiply them exponentially.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole idea. It was just adding this extra variable, this like more controllable chaos. And it's really, the whole idea behind co-op was that you could call in a friend to your open world, and then you together could go on your own like mini adventure, create your own story, attack an outpost, liberate a bell tower, go and do some hunting, find some materials. And what's good is when your friend leaves, you keep all of the progression. So if you take over 4 or 5 outposts in a session with a friend, when he leaves, you still keep that in your single-player experience.
Excellent, and we are getting some noise here because people are talking about Far Cry 4 here. This is the magic of being on the show floor at E3. So we're going to wrap up soon, but I can't let you go here without talking about another conveyance that you guys introduced during the demo, and that's the elephant.
Yeah, I mean, I think the elephant has been, honestly, we knew we had something cool with the elephant, but again, it's caught us by surprise just how excited people are by the prospect of the elephant. I think the fact that it's part vehicle, part weapon, and it's generating so many more player stories than we thought it would be. It's great to see just how excited people get when they get hands-on with that elephant.
It must be pretty exciting, yeah, to see people trying it out and using this stuff in new ways that you guys didn't even plan for. I'm sure you've got some more stuff to announce in the coming months before the game comes out that we can all look forward to, but when can I actually get my hands in there, grapple to an elephant, fly across a chasm in my wingsuit in Far Cry 4?
It's going to be out November 18th this year, and it's going to be on PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and on PC.
Mark, thank you so much for your time here at E3 2014. That's Far Cry 4, folks. One to watch.
You and I are gonna tear shit up!
Should I stay or should I go?